Hi, I'm Fantasy, and today we're going to be interviewing a surgeon called Dr. Ahmad Rafizi Hariz. Okay. Today we're going to be so basically we're going to do this thing called Career Talk, where we interview this person and ask him or her very hard questions, which they will possibly take 5 years to think about. Okay, let's start. So what do you do as a surgeon?
Assalamualaikum. Good afternoon, everyone. So you want to know what I do as a surgeon?
Yeah.
Okay. So surgeon actually, they cut people up to fix them. Yeah. It's not like chopping board like that, but we cut it open. I mean the skin, enter the stomach, and then see what's wrong with the thing inside there, and then we fix it, and then we close it back.
Why did you decide to become a surgeon?
Why?
Yeah.
Because one is, I think I like to help people. Two, I like to do stuff with my hand.
Interesting.
So that's why I think.
Do you like being a surgeon?
Of course. Definitely. I mean, it's my dream to become a surgeon. But when I was smaller, actually, I don't really want. I don't know what I want to do actually. I'm like you all, finding what is the best things to do when you grow up. Initially I wanted to be an ustaz, Islamic teacher. But then after that, after you get older and then you see the world, and then things change. And then when you get to know a lot about other kids, your teachers and things like that, then your dream or your ambition change. So then I wanted to become an engineer, mechanical engineer. Yeah, because I like to do stuff with my hand. I'm not a thinker. I think my wife is the kid, something like that. She like to think more than me. So I like to do things. I mean, it's not like I don't think, but I do think, but I prefer to do things with my hand. Yeah, so I think that's my specialty. So, and then eventually, somehow I managed to get good result for my exams, and then get into college, and then managed to do medicine. So from there, so become a doctor first, and then after that, so the interest to be a surgeon start from there, because you see things in the hospital, how the surgeon work. Okay, I mean it's something like engineer, where you do things rather than you plan and then ask people to do. So that's when I start to develop the interest lah. And then alhamdulillah, this is what I become now.
What kind of surgeon are you?
What kind of surgeon? Do you know blood vessel?
Yep.
It's called artery and vein. Okay. Artery is the artery. Artery is the blood vessel that move the blood from your heart to any other organs in your body lah. For example, your liver, your stomach, your leg, your foot, even your brain. So that's the function of the artery. And then the vein is the blood vessel that bring the blood from the organs back to your heart. And then after that, it goes to your lung. And then your lung will provide the oxygen when you breathe. So the oxygen goes into your lung and then get into your blood. And then the circle of the circulation restart again. So the oxygenated blood from the heart goes back and delivered to your brain, whatever things that need oxygen. So I operate on this blood vessel. So sometimes the blood vessel can, rupture, can block. So I fix them. okay, before they rupture or when they rupture. So we fix them. But if they block, we can open it up or do like a bypass, meaning that from, bypass lah. So, or we can put like a small little wire and then balloon from the inside of blood vessel, something like that. Okay, so yeah, so my job is actually to fix the blood vessel in the body. So it's called vascular surgeon.
Vascular surgeon.
Not muscular. Muscular is muscle. Vascular is vessel.
Are you afraid of blood and cutting people up?
Am I afraid of blood?
And cutting people up?
Not really. I'm not like my sister. My sister, Arwah, my sister, she also a doctor last time. So initially she's also afraid of blood, but I'm not really afraid of blood. But you will actually eventually overcome that fear if you want to be a doctor. You have to. But for me, it's my daily job, so I cannot be afraid of blood. Or else, how can I do work?
Your daughter says my dad's hands are interesting, maybe Pog.
What?
Your daughter's watching us.
They're
like in the stream chat.
Okay.
Okay. What time does your day start and end?
What time?
Yeah.
We wake up for subuh, and then after that, normally we go to work at 8 lah. So at about 8 o'clock, we go to the hospital, and then after that, we'll do the rounds and see the patients in the ward. And then if the day itself we have to do the operation in the operating theatre. So we have to go to operating theatre. If not, then we have to go to the clinic. And then after that, we see, if we can break for lunch, then we do the lunch. And then after that, normally it will end about 5 o'clock. But let's say because people get sick, doesn't matter whatever time, right? It can be midnight. So I'm on call every day. So if there is sick people turn up to the hospital, then if it involves the blood vessel, then I have to come. Even though it's a midnight time or, early in the morning, so we have to do it. But normally, we work from 8 to 5 lah. If there's no emergency cases, then we will go back at 5 o'clock, inshallah.
Have you worked with COVID patients?
Yes, I have. But most, if we want to treat them, we have to wear all these, protective gear, like face shield, the mask. And sometimes if we want to operate on them, if they are truly COVID, then we have to wear like a body suit, like a space, like an astronaut, cover the whole body. It's called Tyvek suit. But so far, I don't need to wear that yet lah. We don't need to operate on any active COVID patient yet lah. But presume, if they are in the ward, then if you're going to see them, we just wear the standard shield and attires, protective gears to see them, basically.
Is it stressful to work your job?
Stressful?
Yeah, is it?
Yes. If... Sorry, again? What do you...
It's okay, go ahead.
It will be stressful if you don't like your job. So if you like your job, however stressful it is, you will overcome it. So that's why, before you consider to take up any job, you have to know what are you going into, and then if you like it, then you do it. If you don't like it, then you think about other things. Because it's a job, so you probably have to do it for the rest of your life, especially in medicine. So I like my job. So whatever stressful it becomes, then there's always ways to overcome it, especially if you like it. If not, then there's always your friends, colleagues, and the best thing is we got Allah. We can always ask Allah for help if we are stressful enough. Yeah.
The question in the chat: What do you need to study to become a surgeon?
Okay. Before you become a surgeon, you need to, standard lah. You need to pass your SPM, go to university, become a doctor first. So to become a doctor, I think I have to study the human body. So human body, basically there's a few subjects lah. One is the anatomy. Anatomy is where you know what blood vessel is that, okay, what bone is that, you know, the nose, the the part of the nose we have to know, okay, the eyes. So the whole human body, basically we have to know the parts and the location and things like that, so that we are not cutting wrong things, you know. So that's one very important. It's a subject called anatomy. And then there's also a subject called physiology. Physiology is how our body works. Like I tell you all just now, I think the movement of blood from the heart to the into the vessel, into the organs, into the brain. So this movement of blood is actually a complex thing, you know. I mean, because the heart is pumping, then there is a control, something that control the heart to pump, okay. And then the blood vessel, whether they will expand or collapse, okay. The blood pressure, okay. All these things, that what is controlling this this mechanism, okay, this function of a human body is what we call is a physiology. Okay? And then the other aspect, what can go wrong to this system is called pathology. There's also another subject called pathology. So this is the few subject lah. Other than that, we have to learn about drugs, okay, like medicine, what we're gonna give to the patient, okay. Like the patient got infection, then we have to give antibiotics. If they got cough, we have to give cough mixture, what type of cough mixture, because we don't want to give wrong medication to the patient, can cause harm. So the principle of medicine is actually to do no harm, meaning that we don't want to treat the patient, but we are actually doing harm to the patient rather than treat the patient. So that's the principle of medicine. So that's why we learn medicine properly, so that we can treat properly. Okay.
How many people is Coco? You asked the question. I don't understand. I think.
How many people are involved in the surgery in the ER?
Oh, okay.
Okay. So normal scenario of a surgery. So there's a few teams involved. Okay. First is the surgeon. So the surgeon, maybe it's me, maybe it's my friend, my colleague, my junior doctors who will be assisting me. Okay. So the house officer. So that's my team. So there's also another team involved, which is the anesthetic team. So this anesthetic doctor is the doctor that actually put the patient to sleep. Okay. Because I cannot concentrate on the surgery if I have to put the patient to sleep as well. So there's another doctor team that actually helped me to put the patient to sleep, so that the patient is unconscious during the procedure and is stable lah. Okay. And then there's also another team, which is the nurses. You know, the nurses actually help with the surgery. They prepare the instrument. Okay. They pass the instrument to us and make sure that basically all these things is needed to make sure that the surgery will go smoothly without any problem. So there's many things, but those are the main teams that is involved in the surgery. Okay.
Is the game Surgeon Simulator relatable to real life? The game.
Game.
There's this game about being a surgeon. Is it like realistic compared to the real thing?
I haven't seen the game yet, so I can't really comment on it. But I mean, it's an exposure for you all. I mean, if you all want to see, for example, you want to cut the appendix or part of the intestine out, and then there's a software. Yeah.
Shove it up his mouth.
Yeah.
Have his hat, wear it.
You have to clean, you prepare the patient, you clean it before you cut and things like that. So I think I've seen some games about that. I think my kids played before. Treatment of something like that lah. But it's definitely different to the real life. But it's a good exposure. I mean, if you want to learn more or you want to know what's going on, that's a good start. And then after that, if you develop the interest, what you can do is maybe you watch something like a movie or something that's involve surgeon, so you can see how it's like, because sometimes they do the filming in the operation theater, so you can see what's going on. For you to go into the operation theater itself is difficult because you need a lot of clearance from the hospital and things like that. So a movie or like a documentary is good enough for you to, if you want to learn more about what's going on in the operating theater.
Why did Alia think your hands are quote interesting?
Huh?
Why did your daughter think your hands are interesting?
My hand?
Yeah. She said in the chat, oh, my father's hands are interesting. And
why my hand? My hand is normal. I have 5 fingers on my left.
A little bit long.
Is it required to have very still hands when doing surgery?
Like
yes. Yeah. You cannot have tremors when you cut and then your hand is shaking, vigorously. So you might cut something wrong. Sometimes you can cut nerve and things like that. So you need the steady hands. So alhamdulillah, I have steady hands. So yeah, I'm grateful.
So when you train yourself to have steady hands, do you train yourself?
Yeah, it's trainable. If you start doing, if you do things with your hand, your hand become steady by nature, and then it's actually transferred to the operation itself. It's something like hand and eye coordination. So in surgery, we believe hand and eye coordination is very important. So that's why I get to play video games more, because it trained my eyes and my hand.
Your daughter said, because my father is good at drawing, I did not get that G, and it's the fact that he has a hand. Earlier. Okay. What does it? How many overall? How many people are doing a surgery?
At what time? At one person.
I don't know. When you do a surgery in the ER room, how many people in total? You said there's this type of person, this type of person. I want to know how many people in all, because it could be 1 or 5 people to do that. So
okay. Standard, I think, would be at least 1, 2, 3, at least 3 people. But overall, it should be around 5 to 7 people that help with the surgery. The whole team. Yeah.
What does it feel like saving lives every day?
I don't know. It's there's a saying. There's a hadith that say, if you save one life, it's like you are saving. It's not hadith. It's actually in the Quran. So It's like if you are saving one life, you are actually saving the whole humanity. So if you kill one life, you actually kill one whole humanity. So this is something that motivates me to become a doctor. So I think you get a lot of hasanat by doing this, as long as you have ikhlas. In that you do this not because of feeling good. I mean, feeling that you are super, and also, I mean, doing it to get a lot of money and things like that. No. So you do this, I mean, primarily because you want to help people, do for Allah. Then other things will come, like money and things like that.
What tools do you use?
What tool?
We know what this is, the scalpel, but like what else?
Yeah, I mean, you need a knife to cut. So there is a small little knife, okay, that we use. Yeah, and then a small scissors to cut the tissue, to cut the muscle and things like that. And also we need something to hold the tissue. It's a scalpel. So all these things you can Google it. Unfortunately, I didn't bring any with me at my house. So basically those are the three things. Other than that, because of the technology, now we actually can use heat. It's like a laser. I mean, people understand it as laser, but we actually use like an energy device to cut the tissue, and also if there is bleeding, we can actually stop the bleeding with the energy device. So it's called diathermy. So those are the things which I mainly use. Other than that, we will use like a small needle and suture is what? Suture is needle and thread. Yeah, small thread to stitch. For example, I mean, there is a cut, so we have to use the surgical thread to stitch it back.
You said sorry.
Yeah.
The thread different than normal thread? Is it like stronger or what?
Yeah, it is designed differently because the thread, as you see, the one that you use to sew your baju is a normal looking thread, but in medicine, there's a lot of threads. I mean, they are designed. For example, if you want to stitch the vessel, you have to use a very fine thread and needle because the vessel is very small, right? So and then the needle is actually curved. It's like a C-shaped needle rather than a straight needle. Okay, so
we could Googling it.
Yeah, so we use this small thread and needle, and also some thread and needle cannot be used to other organs. Like for example, if we want to stitch the intestine together to connect it up, so we have to use different type of stitches. Okay, so yeah.
What to share, Jojo?
You need to know sewing surgeon, right?
Yes, definitely.
What sewing methods? Like, is it cross stitch? Or is it just normal stitching?
Oh, it's like a.
Yeah, I mean, there's a few type. I mean, I'm not sure what cross stitch is, but we call it as continuous. Continuous meaning that we just take the bite continuously like that, okay, across the wound. And then also there's interrupted, meaning that we take the bite and then we tie it straight away and then cut the suture. So then there'll be multiple knots on the wound. So I'm not sure what cross stitch is though. I mean, but essentially that's the type of suturing or using the thread and needle that I normally do lah.
What games do you play to keep your hand-eye coordination?
Like how to improve it?
Yeah.
Oh, I like to play Super Mario.
Which one?
Which one? Now I'm playing Super Mario 3D World.
Let me search.
On Nintendo Switch.
Oh,
wow.
no, the switch is I believe Odyssey. Is it Odyssey? Is it where you have a hat that you throw?
Hat and I throw. I'm not sure about that though.
Oh, okay. Oh,
Yeah.
What other games
Yeah.
do you play?
no, like when it comes to eye coordination, FPS games are more like into your
This
brain.
is
Like FPS, it's more FPS games that like. If I think
Oh,
high eye coordination,
First,
I think FPS games.
yeah, first person shooter. That's another thing that you can do, but it made me dizzy, because you're constantly moving. Yeah, and I prefer to play multiplayer games with my kids, so that can actually.
The doctor is saying that you can.
He's the only one in our house who can weave ketupat, so I suppose can practice with that.
So meaning you can.
Yeah, that's another thing to train your hand to be good. I mean, that's one thing that you can learn, how to weave ketupat. Yeah, I can do a class on that. It's very easy actually.
Really? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Have you tried Overcooked game?
Overcooked. Oh, I think my daughters like to play that game, but I don't really find it that interesting though.
One thing about that game is very stressful. So
No, play it.
we yell at each other.
Yeah.
We yell at each other.
Yeah.
In our
So
house.
maybe it's not the best game to play.
Yeah.
It's fun, but like when you run out of time and you're trying to deliver the last order, your brain just becomes stressed and then you just die in the inside. It's terrifying.
Yeah.
Interesting. Very interesting. Okay. So like, what do you do on your? Ooh, I'm jealous. What do you do in your free time?
What do I do?
Like when you're not working, other than
Yeah.
playing games and cycling, what do you do?
I think cycling took up most of my time actually.
Wow.
Yeah, because I mean, especially during this pandemic, we have to keep fit because the COVID virus, it can just affect, get into our body and then damage our lungs, so we have to make sure our body is good is in good condition so that we can fight the virus, so that's why I think a lot of people who's not, they have some lung condition, other diseases, so they don't do well with COVID and then they may just pass away. So that's why, most of that my time is basically do this lah, cycling, spending time with my daughters and kids. And maybe, yeah.
Sorry for interrupting.
Yeah, it's okay.
What's the furthest you cycle?
Hmm?
What's the furthest? Yeah.
Furthest, I did 200 kilometer once.
Wow.
You know how long is 200 kilometers?
200 kilometers is like
Yeah.
a lot.
It's from here to Ipoh.
In one day?
Yeah, in one day. I think I started like 8 o'clock in the morning and then finish about 4 o'clock in the afternoon or evening.
Oh my god, halfway to Kelantan you cycle. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Did you like take a break? Did you like continuously cycle?
No, we take some breaks. I think after 1 hour of cycling, then you just rest, make a pit stop, go for a toilet break, drink some, get some coffee or some sugary drinks or something to replenish the energy.
Okay. Where do you cycle?
Like at a park or on the road?
On the road mainly. No, but now we cannot because of the MCO. Yeah. So now I cycle virtual. I cycle with my friend online. In fact, I just finished cycling online, 120 kilometers.
So you have that like huge thing where you put your feet there, they just.
Yeah.
That sounds fun. It's fun.
connect the cycling device to the computer, and then it will show. I mean, it's like a video game basically. So you cycle, and then your avatar will move in the virtual world.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
What brand is it? What model is it?
What is it? The software, is it?
The virtual cycle thingy.
It's called Zwift. ZWIFT.
So
you can check it out online.
What's the model number?
There's no model. I mean, it's not a hardware. It's a software. The hardware itself is just a bicycle and connected to a trainer.
Oh, so it's a real bicycle. Do you have to get like a special bicycle?
No, not really.
Oh, so how do you do it?
I just connect the bicycle to the what we call trainer.
Oh.
It's like a machine that connect to the bicycle and then connect to the computer, something like that.
That's awesome. I thought you had to get like one of those like get one of those like big at home bicycles, like those machines that you sit in there.
Yeah. Come, I'm showing you my setup.
It looks realistic too. That's so cool.
See, it's connected. Can you see it or not?
I wanna get
kind
it.
of blurry.
I wanna get it. Megan T300 trainer. Okay. Send help. Hello, are you okay? Whoa. Because you have the virtual background on where it blurs everything about your face, it was kind of blurry, but it doesn't matter.
I see.
No, it's not virtual background.
Cool.
How do I change my virtual background? Is there features in this app?
Okay.
I think it's just
like you ask you lah. Ask you lah.
Oh, it's us.
It's you lah.
I'm getting confused, Gopo. Stop confusing me.
Oh, enable. Okay, let me see whether I can. Okay.
Okay,
I'm
don't worry.
disabling.
It's okay.
Don't worry. We're alright. We saw.
Okay.
Continue with the question.
Permission photobomb. Permission granted.
Oh guys, two of us. What happened?
Oh no, we're interviewing ourselves. Hello there.
What happened here?
Can you move your phone to landscape?
Okay. Yep.
There you go.
Permission granted, Alia. Don't worry. Okay. Are you contemplating or do you have a cat?
Oh, I had before when I was a kid.
Oh
But,
my God.
why?
My sister likes cats. She's been asking about cats ever since my dad gave her the idea of asking every single person from now on in these classes whether they have a cat or not.
But it's very difficult to take care of.
Yeah, that's true.
And if they litter and all those things. So she's here.
Hi, Alia. We should do
We're live right now.
We should do a call, Alia. You're always so free. I want someone to talk to. It's no fair.
Okay. Can we continue with the lesson? It's not a lesson.
Oh my God.
Career talk. Yep.
Okay. How long does the surgery take?
Average about 1 to 2 hours. It depends on the complexity of the surgery.
What's the longest one you ever?
The longest one, 20 hours, about there.
20 hours. Like, did you go to home and sleep, or did you survive? You survived on coffee alone?
Yeah, I mean, we take a break in between. I think we just unscrub, meaning that we take off our surgical gowns and remove our glove and then just go and salat for a while and then take something to eat first and then wear our gown back and then continue operating. So this kind of thing. It's not continuous. You can still take a break. But a short break, I mean, maybe 5-10 minutes, something like that.
All right.
Why do you like surgery?
Why?
Yeah.
I think I've answered that before.
Because like why I know that you like surgery because it's been your dream, but like in the reason why you like it because like you're helping people or because halal, like why?
Yeah, because of that. I think basically, I mean,
Answer your question. Okay, good. Okay, moving on. Please explain the 20-hour surgery. Like step 1, we did this. Step 2, we did that. Blah blah blah.
oh,
Ooh,
I mean, it's a complex surgery.
I can tell.
So,
Question.
yeah, so, I mean, we had to, I mean, there involve multiple teams, you know. I mean, we have to put the patient under what you call general anesthesia, meaning that we put the patient to sleep. So the process of putting the patient to sleep at least will take about 1 to 2 hours, depending on how fast the anesthetist do it. Okay, and then after that, once we start the surgery, so I mean that case is because the blood vessel was quite big. It was about to burst. So once the blood vessel bursts, then patient will just die. So we had to, I mean, put in something like a metal inside a stent. We call it a stent. So put inside the blood vessel, and so that the blood flow will go just into the stent rather than into the swollen blood vessel, so that it won't rupture. So the process, I mean, normally it will be quite fast, but I mean, this kind of complex case, because it involves other blood vessels in the body, like the blood vessel that supply the kidney, supply the intestine. So we have to preserve that blood vessel as well. So we have to put additional stents into that blood vessel. So that took a few more hours. So in total, it can go up to quite long, actually, up to 20 hours. But as we do more and more this complex case, I think our speed will eventually get faster and faster.
So what do you have any funny stories to share?
Yeah.
Funny stories. Share about what? About work, or
What?
what kind of funny story?
Random.
Random funny story. I don't care what's a funny story.
I don't really have a funny story to share, though. I mean, maybe I'm a boring person. You can ask Alia. He got a lot of funny stories. He can give you a lot of riddles and
Really?
yeah, it's quite funny.
We are live stream, right? We are on live right now. This is not. You can even you can call your friend later. Right now we have a live stream.
Yeah.
So
what's the future of surgery like? Do you think that we won't even need human surgeons? Like they'll just automatically do it with machine? Like what? Like, you know, what's the future?
Future basically is becoming more and more high tech, because now we are using, I mean, in some hospital we have robot that we operate to do surgery on the patient.
I've seen the robots where you can like go halfway around, you can like halfway across the world, you can control the robot to surgery.
I've seen them.
Yeah.
They're great and sew it back. They're great skin and then they sew it back.
Yeah, I mean, there's robots, there's other technologies. Is getting more and more minimally invasive, meaning that you can operate just by doing a small cut in the patient rather than doing a very huge cut, you know, in tummy. So it's called laparoscopic procedure. So it's getting more and more minimally invasive, and then the technology is much better, and then we can operate with less complication, better outcome for the patient. But it's a good time to join the field, because if you are into gadgets, then you can explore the possibility of, sometimes you can enhance the surgery by making you can build up like a new device to be used during the surgery and things like that.
What is remote surgery and is it possible?
Remote surgery?
Yeah.
So far, we don't normally do remote surgery, meaning that the surgeon is the other part of the world and then cutting open a person on the other part of the world, because one is sometimes the internet connection might be very, not 100% secure, So, sometimes it's okay, but sometimes if it's lagging, and you might cut different things. So we still need to do it at site. You cannot just do it remotely, okay? But you can actually supervise your student remotely, meaning that the training surgeon is operating and we are actually teaching them from another location. So that's possible. Is that a 3D printer at the back there?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Is it possible in the future to 3D print? Like example, you got a cut. So is it possible, like a big cut, like I don't know, is it possible to like 3D print prosthetic skin or arms in the future?
Skins, no, because you need something like a biomimetics, something to mimic the cell of the, the tissue of the patient. But what we can do with the 3D printer is, for example, the patient have like a fracture, the bone is fractured, and then they need to wear like a cast.
Oh, so you can like
so you can actually 3D print like a air cast or something, because the normal, the standard cast is like very hot and humid, because it's a plaster of Paris. You see the white color thingy that you put around the patient hand or leg. So there's new technology coming out where there is what we call air cast, where you can actually 3D print the thing to mold according to your hand, so you can wear it without feeling too hot and too warm, things like that. So yeah, you can explore this technology.
What about prosthetic limbs? Do you think we'll be able to print prosthetic limbs in the future?
There's already a lot of prosthetic limb in the market. Of course you can 3D print it, but you have to be strong enough lah. You have to use not just the filament have to be strong enough. Like maybe you have to use something like metal or titanium, okay, so that it can withstand pressure, and because the patient will be using it for walking and things like that. It's definitely possible.
Oh, cool. Okay, have you done any collaborations with surgeons around the world, and if so, which countries?
Yeah, we do, because I was trained in the UK. So I did my vascular training in Newcastle. Newcastle is in the UK. So I was there for almost 2 years. So Alia, Safia, everyone was there as well, the whole family. So so we did some collaboration with them, and also when I came back here, we did collaboration with other hospital like IJN, okay, like other university hospital like UKM. So we don't, not necessarily we are doing all this surgery alone. So sometimes we need to combine forces.
Okay. is there enough vascular surgery in Malaysia today? Do you think we should, like, if there's too much, no, there can't be too much. Do you think like there's just right, too little, too much, or do you think there's enough but they're untrained? What do you think?
It's not enough. Do you know the ratio of vascular surgeon to our current population now is 1 in a million?
So 1 for a million patients.
Yeah, 1 for a million people. So the Malaysia population got about 30 something million. So there's only about 30 something vascular surgeon in the country now. So definitely we need more vascular surgeon.
Are female surgeons common?
Yeah, I think I know a lot of female surgeon. Even vascular. Sorry?
No, it's okay. Go on.
Yeah, even some of my colleague is a vascular surgeon, female as well. So I mean, previously it was always dominated by male, especially in surgery. But I think female nowadays they are more adventurous, and then I think more and more female actually getting into surgery. They also do quite good. It's just that it can be quite difficult to manage time and family, and that's the only difficult part, I think.
How do you keep updated with new technologies and methods?
How?
Yeah.
I read. Basically, one is we have to read the journals. Journals is the, publication. The paper, the article about our field. So that's one that we need to constantly update ourselves. Two is we attend all these courses and workshops, online or physical, but nowadays is mainly online. So with this, then we can update our knowledge about certain device, certain technologies. So those kind of things.
Who's your idol surgeon?
Sorry?
Who's your idol surgeon in the world today?
Ideal surgeon?
Look up to.
Look up to. At the moment now,
Ada.
maybe in the UK, my previous boss. So I work with this professor called Professor Jerry Stansby. So he's quite good. He's actually a professor in surgery, and he published a lot of articles and journals, and also can operate very well. So I think that's probably one of my idol.
What's the latest journal you've read about that? That's interesting. Very.
Latest journal that I read about. Maybe about robotics, which I think is interesting. There's this paper from maybe UK or US, basically using robot to operate on vascular patient. Using the robot can actually operate on wires and catheters, so we don't need to be very near to the patient. We can be in a different room, so that because when we operate, we use radiation. So you know radiation, right? X-ray.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this X-ray, normally if I operate, I use X-ray. So X-ray, it's good to help us treat the patient, but at the same time, it's also bad because it can cause harm to our body, because radiation, can cause mutation of cell in our body, can cause cancer and things like that. So with robot, maybe we don't need to be in the same room as a patient, so that we are not exposed to the radiation. So that's possibly the one of the good things that may come.
How safe are the robots?
How safe are the robots?
They might turn bad. like, you know, Terminator. No lah, I think they are okay. As long as we know how to operate them, should be okay.
If they were to turn bad, you would have to program consciousness, and we can't program consciousness. So yeah, I think they're going to be doing that anytime soon.
Yeah.
So
Maybe can create a robot like Big Hero 6. You know, have you watched Big Hero 6?
Yeah, it's a very good movie.
Specifically, like
I recommend watching that. It's a very funny and educational movie. Not educational, but still it's nice. Okay, I had a question. I was wiped for my brain. While you ask, you have the next questions.
okay. Is your job dangerous?
What is it? My job, what?
Is your job dangerous?
Is my job dangerous?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sometimes dangerous in what sense?
Like you can get coronavirus, or you can cut yourself out, or something like that.
Yeah. So that's dangerous lah. I mean, definitely you can actually cut yourself. I mean, when you use the sharp needle, sometimes you can poke yourself and then cause bleeding. Yeah. So if the patient got like virus like HIV or hepatitis, that can actually transmit the virus to you. So that's one of our occupational hazard. Okay. So that's one, and of course, coronavirus can also affect us. In fact, some of my friends also had gotten coronavirus when working.
Have they survived? Are they still alive?
Yeah, they're still alive.
So they recovered?
Yep.
Okay. Have you ever accidentally killed a person?
Oh God.
Accidentally, no.
Good. Good. Keep up with that. I had a question. I forgot it. Great. This is so great. What call you ask? What call you ask?
Don't you want to know how to become a doctor?
Is it required to be a doctor to become a surgeon?
Of course. You have to. Yeah.
Continue.
You have to. I mean, but in the olden days, surgeon is not a doctor. Surgeon is actually, I mean, in the UK last time, back in the 17th centuries or quite some time ago, they are actually barber. So they cut hair. So the doctor actually asked them to help cutting the patient. So that's how it started. So that's why people, I mean, in the hospital, they call surgeon Mr. rather than doctor because of this origin of a surgeon. I mean, basically from a barber kind of.
How many years to be a doctor? How many years?
How many years? Okay. After SPM, I have to do matrix for 1 year. And then after that, medical school for 5 years. Then you become a doctor. And then after medical school, to become a surgeon, then you have to work first for at least 2 to 3 years. Then you join there's another program called master program where you learn further about surgery. There's another 4 years. Then you become a general surgeon. General surgeon is surgeon that can cut anything but not specialized lah. So they can do like simple surgery but not the very complex one. So after general surgeon, then I have to do another 3 years to become a vascular surgeon. So quite a long way.
14 years.
Yes.
Whoa! So you studied and did all this stuff for 14 years.
AKA same age that I am.
Yeah.
You're older than I am.
How long have you been doing surgery?
Minus 14 years from now.
Yeah.
14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Wait.
Repetition. I don't understand what you're doing, Coco. Okay.
But a lot of people like, I mean, some of my friends just stop at becoming a general surgeon. That's good enough for them. Not necessary to go that extra miles to do vascular surgery. I mean, it depends on your interest. I mean, once you become a general surgeon, then you can actually decide what else you want to do. I mean, for example, if you want to operate on the brain, and then you can be a neurosurgeon. Okay, so that's another 3-4 years. If you want to operate on the hand or the legs, you can be an orthopedic surgeon. Or you can operate on the lungs or the heart. You can be a heart surgeon, those kind of things. So after general, then you can branch out and then be what you want to be after that. Depends on your interest.
Will robots take over surgeons in the near future?
I don't think so.
Yay.
It's still a long way to go.
All right, any last words before we sign off?
Do you have
Any last?
messages to kids who want to be surgeons or doctors? Do you have any advice for them? What do you
Okay. So my advice is actually very easy. So one is if you like the things that you want to do, you should pursue it. Okay. Don't delay. Don't contemplate. I mean, don't procrastinate too much. Okay. Sometimes that's the only opportunity that you get, so you have to grab it. Okay. For me, I mean, Alhamdulillah, I mean, I managed to grab the opportunity and can become a surgeon quite early. I mean, I'm one of the youngest surgeon in Malaysia when I become a surgeon, vascular surgeon. So that's why you have to grab the opportunity. Two is be nice and to your parents and to other people, okay? Because we want their doa, their blessing. I mean, if you want to pursue it, if you don't get their blessing, there won't be any barakah, and then you won't succeed, even if you try so hard, because I mean, you get no blessing. So that's why I think that's one of the things that help me to achieve what I am today is doa from other people. Okay, doa from friends, doa from especially your parents, and now my wife doa for me, my kids doa for me. So that's and then inshallah, then you become a good person and what you can be. Okay.
Okay, last question because we need to wrap up. Do you want your kids to be surgeons? Yes or no? Just simple yes or no. Okay.
Yes and no.
Yeah, yes or no.
Yes and no. I got 4 kids.
So you want like example Hamza and Alia to be surgeon, but you don't want the other ones to be surgeon.
No lah. I think they should do what they like. I mean, but yeah. I mean, if they want to do medicine, yeah, by all means do medicine. We will support. I mean, as parent, we will support whatever that you want to do, as long as it doesn't detour from the way. I mean, the way of Islam, you know.
Okay. Tomorrow at 8:50 p.m. we're going to have Auntie Tracy over for a meeting or interview about management consulting. Thank you, Dr. Ahmad Rafizi Hafiz,
Okay.
for spending your time on a Sunday to help answer all our questions. We really enjoyed asking you all these questions. I hope everyone who watched this video learned something new. Bye-bye.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Okay, bye.